Good evening everyone and welcome along to PSGL. We are here for the PS tier. Of course it is F3, Season 30, round number 5 of the Championship. To be taking the Hungarian Grand Prix from the Hungaroring here in Magna Naradec. My name is James Hay, going to be taking to the stream as always on a Monday. It's been a while since we've been live, but we are back of course to take in the Hungarian Grand Prix. And joining me of course in the commentary box, it is Mr. Otaku Logan. Logan, how you doing?
Very good. I just got out of a fantastic bath and I am still very wet. I might get electrocuted. Oh no! No, I'm absolutely fine, sir. I'm actually not going to be here after this race for a while. Can't really mention why. It's personal issues, but I won't be here until round 8, which will be, I believe, in Belgium. So you're on your own, unless you get a substitute, of course, with Austria and Saudi Arabia. But for now, we're here at the Hungaroring, which was first holding Formula 1 in 1986, which was when Hungary was communist. That's as political as we get here in PSGL. Was the first race to be held behind the Iron Curtain. So that was a pretty historic moment for Formula 1 and its global reach, I have to say. I'd just like to mention about the drivers tonight. I do believe if Isu is still here, he's not got his ban anymore. His ban has ended.
I'm looking at the standings and I can't even find his name. Oh, there he is. He's
got
there in
2 bans
18.
in his name.
It's fine. Yeah, I think he is, if I'm not mistaken, still racing here tonight. I'll check the allocations, actually, for this week, while we are just getting the standings and everything up on my end. Maras is replacing Isu in the Alfa Romeo, so Maras is in for Isu in the Alfa Romeo, and Marlon replacing Rexnig in the Red Bull. Those are the 2 changes. Everyone else, it seems like they're going to be attending, of course. It looks like we're going to get a full grid as well. But in terms of the championship standings, you may be reminded what happened 2 weeks ago in France. Well, Cameron Dowd finally took his win this season. He's been so unlucky. He absolutely bounded back in France, took the race win in very, very good style. Mathieu there finished in 2nd, and also Nuth finished in 3rd. What did that do to the championship standings, I hear you ask? Mathieu, though, out on top, 29 points. Joey in 2nd on 28 points. I still can't believe how close it actually is. Menno, who I believe is now transferred over to PC, if I'm not mistaken, he's in 3rd on 24. Nuth there in 4th on 23 after his promising result last time. Ron in 6th on 22. Cameron Dowd in 7th on 20. Marcados in 8th on 18. Rudy in 9th on 16. And then a whole host of drivers tied for 10th. Will Murdoch, Cortez and Denzo. They're all tied on 14 points. DV19 in... what is that? 13th, 12th position actually for DV19. He's on 12 points. Izza on 10, Trinity on 8, Batuksai on 6, Lewis on 3, along with a Rocker also on 3, Isu and Maras on 2, and Rexnig off on 1 point. Dan Spring, Dutch Missile, Marlon, Maledictus, Karem, Namsko, who have both left, and Julian, all no points so far this season. Julian, of course, a brand new reserve, I believe, to F3 as well. Metty, though, holding a point advantage, Logan. Joey, obviously, ever consistent. DNF'd, of course, in Monaco 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now it is. He's only still a point behind, though, so it's still quite close.
Oh yes, it's very close indeed. Of course, we have, I do believe, 12 drivers who, with a win and results going their way today, would take the lead of the championship. It's that close. I know it's round 5 or 15, but it's just incredible to see so many drivers so close to the top of the tower. I should also mention we've had 4 different winners so far. Rudy, Marcados, Mathieu and Cameron Dowd from last week, 2 weeks ago I should say. Can we make it 5 for 5 tonight?
I wonder so. I wonder if we will get 5 tonight. I don't think we will. I think Cameron Dowd might once again take the win. I think, honestly, his form in France, he was so good on that final lap of the race. The most dramatic race you'll probably ever see in PSGL across any PS tier. It was such a good watch. Go and watch it back if you missed it, because honestly, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I think me and Logan actually nearly lost our voices commentating on the final lap of that race as well. In terms of the constructors as well, before we come into tonight, I just need to get the standings actually up on my end. And as soon as they load on my end, Red Bull leading the way on 46 points, Alpine in second on 42, Williams in third on 31, Haas in fourth on 28, Mercedes in fifth on 26, AlphaTauri in sixth on 21, Ferrari in seventh on 20, McLaren in eighth on 14, Aston Martin ninth on 13, and Alfa Romeo in 10th on 8 points. And of course, Red Bull now missing one of their drivers, of course, Menno leaving. I think Rexnig has taken that on a full-time basis now in the Red Bull. How do you think they'll get on? Because obviously they're only 4 points clear of Alpine.
Yeah, it's. I actually haven't got the standings up for the constructors. I actually neglect that quite a lot. I do apologise to all the constructors out there. But yes, if Williams can get 15 points over Red Bull, then that will be them in the lead of the championship. That'll be pretty interesting for the title race, I have to say. Any of the top 7 teams can possibly take the lead of the championship tonight. Remember, 29 points, the most a constructor can achieve. And Ferrari could do that with a bit of luck, especially with Cameron Dowd at the wheel. It could be on the cards, but you never know. Here is 18 minutes of qualifying then at the Hungaroring. 4.381 kilometers. It has changed a bit over the years. In, I believe, 2002 was the most recent renovations, where they made the front stretch longer and adjusted the turn, which is now turn 12. But yes, of course, oh yes, and after turn 3, what is now turn 3, there was of course a unusual looking chicane, which happily they removed. Everyone you can see waiting on the pits for some reason. I'm guessing because it's interesting setups. They're going to be very interesting setups, of course, because this is a track which is very narrow but very demanding.
Very narrow and very demanding, and they call it, of course, Monaco with the barriers, basically, is what I think they call it, something like that. Anyways, Patuxai's the first man out on track. He's going out on the sort of soft compound tyre. Be interesting, of course, to see what drivers actually tend to go on in terms of their compound of tyre here in qualifying. But Patuxai, of course, in the other Alfa Romeo, normally alongside Isu, of course, Maras representing him tonight. Jenny, by the way, in the comment section supporting Maras, it seems, and Cameron's dad saying good evening to us both. Good evening, Cameron's dad, and with the simple message of let's go, son. I like that. I like the support, the family support that has been shown once again, and hopefully you've got your favourite drivers here in F3, unlike you're just passing the time maybe to wait for F1 that is coming up a little bit later on. Of course, Luke Etheridge and Aidan Carter taking through the action at 8 PM UK time, but for Tuxai, he is the first man out on track, and he's going to have an advantage going into the lap because he is the first man out on track and he's going to have a clear run.
Yes, he is. Betusai in the Alfa Romeo. I should mention that he is currently got 6 points to his name, 2 8th place finishes in Britain and Monaco respectively, hoping to add to that tonight. He comes around the final 2 hairpins. It's a very unusual track. The first 2 corners and the last 2 corners are pretty much hairpins. And that is the one thing I probably don't like about this track, repetitiveness. But hey, that's just me, as Berturzai enters the first corner, a nice apex and an alright exit, I have to say, as he makes his way down to turn number 3. Actually, no, that's turn number 2. The little curve after turn 1 doesn't count, apparently. And coming into turn number 3 now. Then up the hill to turn number 4, very fast. You can cut the corner there as well, and he actually gets away with it. Now, watch out. Don't hit the curb here, and don't go wide either. That will invalidate your lap or spin you round. Worse, the chicane is just as equally hard, making his way through turns 8 and 9. A fast swoop left and a fast swoop right, and then left into another fast right. It's a weird looking track, I know. And then a hard right at turn 12, and then the final 2 hairpins of 13 and 14, which will complete the lap as he comes round the last corner now. And he will be the first to set a lap, of course, so that's why everything is purple, and his time will be 1:14.87. That's the mark to beat for now, but here come the others. 1:15.174 for Trinity, and I do believe the AlphaTauri of Marcados has just started his lap, and off he goes. No one beating Bertuxai for now, but of course that's just the first 3 times.
Yeah, first 3 times on the board, but Tuxie out on top, Trinity second, nothing third. I'm on board with Joey, and yes, you can see he's on a green wall tyre. Green wall, set of intermediates, he's getting in the way of the Mercedes as well. Will Murdoch is doing exactly the same thing as well, so both Alpines clearly feeling, we've seen them do it before earlier on this season, where they keep a fresh compound of tyre for the remainder of the qualifying session and indeed for the race. So that will come to fruition, I think, of course, if it is going to be either changeable conditions or if it's going to be fully dry. Both of them on a set of inters. Ron came across the line but he invalidated his lap. Marcados coming through the middle sector, he's having to get out of the way. Will Murdoch there on the inside line coming through turn number 12. And I've got to be honest, for the drivers, seeing 2 drivers on a set of inters, it's a bit of a nuisance, to be honest, to everyone out on track. Izard on top, Rudy in second, but Tuxie in third. Marcados, though, he's coming around the final couple of corners, and of course he has looked quite quick in qualifying this season. Don't think he's going to be anywhere near the top as he comes towards the line. He goes 7th, 15.2, so not a bad lap there at all from him, but it's Izza out on top, Rudy in second, but Tuxie in third. Dutch Missile also on a set of inters, by the way, so he's clearly feeling that he can try and take a fresh compound of tyres going into the race, because of course one thing that is around this track is very, very high tyre wear.
Yes, the tyre wear can bite you in the neck, if I can say that. The soft tyres are not going to last long here, and with all the curves around, that's not going to help it any more. As I'm actually on board with DV19 on soft, and he's got a wheel on the grass momentarily, but it's fair game. He's still got 2 wheels on the track, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And through the fast turn 11 and now the hard turn 12. Nicely done. Oh, a bit of a slide at the exit. And then turn 13, another curve what you don't want to hit. It is very unforgiving. Watch the pit lane. You can actually get it validated if you go into the pit entry just a little bit. And then in outside, and DV19 is going to set a 1:14.5 going at the top. What's happened?
I'm shocked because that did not look like a 14.5. In the middle sector, he was slower than Izza in the middle sector, but he's still 2.5 tenths clear of Izza, which I do not get. DV19 out on top, Izza in second, Cortez now in third, good lap time by him, but DV19, 1:14.5, that is not a bank lap, that's a statement of intent.
Yeah, well, DV19 is the current F4 champion, and he's improved it ever since that triumph. You know, he could be a contender to win this race, and of course, make it 5 for 5 in different winners.
Yeah, definitely so. Denzel's coming into pit lane as well. I think that's the first runs for everyone pretty much done.
Yes.
DV19, I should say, out on top. Izza in second, Cortez there in third. Enzo Unlimited, by the way, coming into the comment section saying, very nice comment about DV19. DV is a legend and an uprising goat. Not sure if we've had an uprising goat before here in PSGL, but if that's what you want to call him, you can call him that indeed. But already 7 minutes gone in qualifying, DV19 out on top. And I think with Izza's lap time, 14.7, that was a conservative banker lap, to be honest, compared to what we saw with DV19's lap. And already that statement of intent is there. Will we get towards the high 113 mark? Because I'm thinking, as long as the track evolution improves, these guys are going to be going quicker and quicker and quicker throughout the session. But one thing that will be of note towards the end of the session, of course, as Izza is now coming out the pit lane, will be whether drivers can improve on their current lap times, basically, because it's so hard to actually improve on your lap around here.
Yes, it is indeed. Of course, track evolution does matter, but these tyres wear out like wildfire. They are unforgiving, as I have said before. You know when you said the uprising goats, DV19? Funnily enough, I was going to, I think it was a zoo or something, and there were goats there, so it's not the only goat I've seen today.
Well, we've got
Horrible
two goat commentators here as well, so it's even worse. Trinity's coming through the final corner.
I wouldn't say that. Not with me, anyway.
No, goat commentators definitely here in PSGL F3. On the run to the line, then Trinity on the run down and towards turn number 1 will reach around 194 mile an hour before he gets the car braked in for turn number 1. Negotiates it very nicely indeed. He's got Maras just off the left-hand side there. Good lap by him, by the way. The reserve, 14.9. Trinity, though, coming to the left-hander of turn 2, of course, where we saw Daniel Ricciardo go around around the outside of Max Verstappen in 2018. Trinity on the run up to the hill in towards turn number 4, and this is already looking like a quick lap. He's 500s down, but negotiates the curb very nicely coming through turn 4, misses the curb coming through turn number 5. You get caught on that, it will really wreck your race and really wreck your qualifying time as well, because you will end up in the wall. Trinity just helping over the curb through turn 7, now to the left-hander of turn 8 and turn 9. It's looked a conservative lap, I've got to be honest, from Trinity, as he now comes through the left-hander of 10, into the right-hander of turn 11, just backs off the throttle there slightly, and he's over-rotating there slightly. Looks like he's got an unstable setup on, but coming now through turn 12, the worst of the corners are pretty much done for him, I think, as we now come through the left-hander of turn 13, and then through the left-hander of turn 14. Currently DV19 out on top, Izza in second, Cortez in third, as now Trinity comes around the final corner, on the run to the line. What lap times are going to be? Again, very squirrely at the final corner, he backs out of this lap, so no improvement from Trinity. I think we've got Batuxa in a lap, Rudy's invalid. Izza, though, is up through the first sector, 800's up through the first sector, and he's now flying his way through turn 8 and 9.
Who's winning? Oh, Cameron Dowd sets the fastest time by about 28 thousandths, and he's just showing once again why he's a force to be reckoned with. I'm on board with Izza, who's coming through turn 12 now. Of course, he had the top time until DV19 just shocked him. Coming through the final two corners now. Let's see how his exit will be here at this very natural bull grandstand section. Very nicely done. Is it going to be good enough?
Wow.
Oh, you bet your life it is. 1:14.47. The first one to go in the low 1:14s in this session. But of course, that's going to fall with that track evolution. As we have mentioned, Dan Spreen at crossing the line is about 4.5 seconds worse than last time. Cortez is starting his lap now.
Yep, we're on board with Cortez coming down towards turn number 1. Ron, by the way, 14.8. Went 8th position. It was just in behind him, actually, just starting up on a lap now, Cortez. Coming through the left-hander of turn number 2 once again. But it's now Isabad on top. Cameron Dowd second, DV19 and third. Currently, top 12 are covered by 8 tenths per second at this stage. Predict it, though, to get a lot closer, especially if Joey, Dutch Missile and Will Murdoch can get their act together on a set of soft compound tyre. Cortez now coming to the the right-hander, I should say, of turn number 5. And then in towards the chicane of 6 and 7. Have you got to really be considerate through here? Too considerate, I think, from Cortez. Nearly flings the car out wide, but Tuxa, I think, is just off track there to the right-hand side, and Cortez just invalidates coming through turn number 9. And that's the difficulty of this track. It looked like he got the chicane completely wrong, and that unsettled him coming through turn 8 and 9, and that's why he picked up the invalidation, because that car looked very unsettled.
Yes, it did look very unsettled. I'm on board with DV19, actually. He is on a flying right now. Sorry, whilst James was commentating, I had a bit of a choking moment there. I do apologise, I've still got it in me. But now, through the final 3 corners will be DV19. He's faster than last time in the middle sector, 300s, but Tuxai in the way. Not anymore. He gets through without a hitch. And it looks like the other 2 cars in front of him are going into the pit. Oh, right on the edge. DV19 is of that pit entry, which does invalidate you. Now, around the grandstand and across the line. Oh, it's third.
Didn't even improve.
And it's actually worse. Yeah, he didn't improve. It looked good, but he's actually worse than last time. He's got about 5 minutes left to get another lap in, and this is going to be crucial moments of the session. Denzo has had to back out, and I think that's the only other driver on a lap. I do believe everyone is on soft except Missile and Maras.
Oh, he's in the pits.
Yeah, he's in the pits.
I thought he was coming around the final corner, but he's not. Mavassa's into the pit lane. Unfortunately, the Italian not getting a lap time in. 14.9 still his personal best. But Isabad on top. That man there, though, Cameron Dowd, has just came out the pit lane, and he looked very squirrely coming out of turn 1 there. But 14.5, 300ths of a second off Izza. What does he need, basically, to outdo Izza on this lap? Because Cameron really, knowing his pace around here, he could go 114.2. But it's so difficult to improve around this track. So Cameron Dowd, I think, could be one to watch out for. As will Matthew, by the way, who goes to the top and just shocks us completely. Didn't even see him on a lap. 14.4 on a set of soft compound tyres. That was a second run, actually, on that set of soft compound tyres. So clearly must have invalidated his first run. He had enough fuel and enough ERS to go for a second run. And he's now 7 thousandths clear of Izza, right at the top end of the standings. What I was coming aboard with is Will Murdoch is now on a lap coming to the left-hander of turn 9. number 4. Oh, and he looks very, very squirrely coming through turn 4. Now coming through turn 5, and Will Murdoch right on the limit, but inevitably he will improve. I think probably Will Murdoch's aim is not to spin the car first and foremost, but second of all, possibly to get, I would say, outside of the top 10 will probably be his starting position.
Yes, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some drivers do strategically try to finish in 11th and 12th in the session so they can get a fresh set of medium tyres, and that could actually give them an edge around circuits like the Hungaroring, which are very worn, and he's actually coming to the pits.
Denzel spins it out the final corner. He nearly did a Vettel coming out the final corner there. Luckily, kept the car pretty much in, well, I would say pretty much in a straight line, but then he half spun it and then hit the wall with his rear wing. So I wonder if he's got rear wing damage with that hit into the wall. But Denzel spinning the car, completely over-rotated through the final corner. It was a good lap as well from Denzel up until that point. And I think if Denzel can get a clean lap in, he's going to be right up there.
Yeah, I think he will. As we were saying, Will Murdoch, with the tyre degradation being at a high here at circuits like Hungaroring and probably Baku as well because of how much you're turning at speed, I think starting on the mediums, fresh mediums, is the way to go. Maybe fresh hards if you like. But yeah, I think some drivers might just be on purposely trying to stay out of the top 10 so they can't start on the already very worn softs, and I can see a couple drivers on the track. Rudy, one of them, in the Haas, coming around turn number 5, the corner of death, some people call it, because of how horrendous that curve is. And then coming through the chicane, that was alright to me. And then the fast swooping corners of 8 and 9, and an 11 now. And he's got to hope that Maris lets him through. Of course he does. We just saw James.
No, he's improving in the middle sector. That's what I'm worrying at. He's 3.5 tenths up. And if he improves once again in this final sector, he is looking good. Maybe for provisional pole at this stage in qualifying. But still, there's less than, I think, 3 minutes to go in the session. Rudy now at the final corner. This is provisional pole to the line. 14.4. Luckily, I said that. I thought I was going to be made to look like an absolute mug there if I didn't say that right. Rudy, the one on top. Matthew in second, Izra in third, and we've got a minute and a half left in the session. But drivers did come out the pit lane very late on indeed, so I'm wondering if we've got a minute glitch, which means there's actually 2 minutes to go in the session rather than 1 minute. So, just to be aware of that. PSGL's resident PSF1 commentator Luke Etheridge also commenting about the spin of Denzo. Superb 2014 Vettel impression, solid 7 out of 10. I'd like to see you try it, Luke.
That's very sad. Izat's retired from the session after invalidating his last chance, so he'll be starting no better than third here at Hungaroring. It's probably not going to be third at this rate. I'm on board with Nuff. Actually, no, I thought Cameron Dowds was on the lap, but it's the wrong driver. It's Dan Spreen, and Nuff needs some good cornering here. If he is to be on pole position, Will Murdoch gets him through. Thank goodness for that, because of course we hate interferences. And now the final corner. Can he topple Rudy from the top spots?
Yes.
Yes, he can. 4 now. 1:14.374. Who's coming across the line
DB19.
now?
DB19's coming across the line. He looks quicker. Comes to the line. He is quicker. And he goes 11 hundredths of a second quicker than Nuth. And it is DV19 now on provisional pole. Other drivers on laps as well. Matthew, I think, has just started on one. Maras, by the way, improved up to 7th. Cortez is also on a lap. Somebody's destroyed the polystyrene boards in the middle sector. I think it might have been Dan Spreen, who's just off the track to the left-hand side. Oh, as Cortez has lost it. Coming through turn number 8. Very, very strange that. On the left-hand, actually coming through turn 10. Just completely got caught on the curb, and the car just got sent spinning. It looked like he got basically his floor of the car basically over the curb, and it sent the car spinning. Cortez now down to Nathan. That is his last lap now, absolutely ruined because he cannot find an improvement. The session is pretty much done. DV19 out on top. Newton second. What is Matthew doing though? He's a tenth and a half up as Matthew, and he's looking good for provisional pole at this stage if he keeps it clean. Coming through the final two corners, Matthew is going to be on for pole position, and it could be a 14.2 as Matthew around the final corner on the run to the line, and it's a 14.1. What a lap by Matthew! Fantastic lap. DV19 is not improving, neither as Nuth. Cameron Dowd just 9,000 down in this middle sector. What can the Ferrari do? He's a bit squirrely coming out of 13. And now to the right hander of 14. What can Cameron Dowd do? Out of the final corner. Again, over-rotating the car. Gets the run to the line. He backs off his lap. He wasn't happy with that at all. And he stays in 6th position. Anybody else on lap times? I think there was an improvement up the field. That was Marcados going 8th. Joey to the line does improve his lap time. I think that is the end of qualifying. And it's Matthew out on top. And in the end, by a comfortable, nearly 0.2 of a second, DV19 now in second, Newton third. Considering that DV19 to Cameron Dowd is covered by a tenth and a half, and the same gap is between Matthew and DV19, that is a very, very good qualifying session from Matthew, and he comes to show one lap pace. He's better than everyone else, but now he needs to concentrate, of course, on the race itself.
Yes, and it's very crucial for him, of course. He does have the lead in the championship, but it's only by 1 point. Joey on 28, Matthew on 29. So he's going to have to try, at the start, I say, run away from the field as much as possible, possibly try and counter the undercut by pitting first. And I think, if he can avoid any interference, I think he'll be fine. But, actually, Joey in 14th. I completely ignored Joey the whole session. He's only got 14th, but he'll be starting on fresh mediums for sure. So it could go anyone's way here tonight, James. Let's see what happens in the race.
Definitely could. Few Fireblade, by the way, in the comment section, just putting that weird emoji that I can't describe it quite cleanly because I can't think of the actual name of it. But it's the one where you've got your thumb and your finger basically together. That one. Fury Fireblade. Clearly happy with Matthew's lap, I think, there. But Matthew out on top by a tenth and a half of a second. DV19 in second. Nuth there in third. And he's supporting the Ukrainian flag, which we all stand for, of course, in these troubled times. Rudy in fourth. Izza in fifth. Cameron Dowd in sixth. Maras in seventh. Marcados in eighth. Cortez in ninth. Patuxai in 10th. Ron also supporting the Ukrainian cause and the Ukrainian flag being run by him. He's there in 11th. Marlon in 12th. Trinity 13th. Joey in 14th. Dutch Missile 15th. Will Murdoch in 16th. Denzo in 17th. What could have it been for Denzo in that session if he got an improvement? And to P18 was, because I totally missed who it was it Patuxai? Tempted to say? It was somebody.
Who was which position? 10th?
10th. 18th, sorry. It was Dan Spreen. Dan Spreen.
Yeah, Dan Spreen.
But there we go. Frankie, by the way, is saying hello in the comment section. Good evening to you, Frankie. And Pinks as well in the comment section saying that emoji stands for OK. Knew it was something like that. I didn't want to say it on the stream in case it was wrong, and I was made to look like a commoner, to be honest. And I'm not down with the kids. But there we are.
Or it could potentially be offensive, if you know what I think you're trying to say.
Yeah, potentially so, potentially. But obviously, qualifying now over and done with. Matthew, of course, above and beyond the rest of the field in qualifying. Very good, solid qualifying session from him. But we've said it so many times here in PSGL F3. One-shot qualifying is one thing. The race is a completely different thing. And you were saying there, Matthew, obviously, you feel he's going to try and break away. If he gets outside of a second at the end of lap 1, he's pretty much on, I would say, for the race win. But the difficulty is the DRS train around here is so potent, especially to run the run down towards turn 1. If you get that run down in towards turn 1, DB19 and Nuth running behind second and third position, and they're going to be, I think, right on the coattails of Matthew, considering, of course, Nuth, especially so, used to be part of TTG.
James, sorry to interrupt you. I need to be right back. One moment, please.
Yep, no worries at all. I'm just destroying the UI and turning that off at the minute. But Matthew right on top, DV19 in second, Nuth there in third. Let's have a look at what everyone's tyres is doing. And the top 10 are, of course, on that set of soft compound tyre. Everyone else going for a split strategy. Clearly looks like it's going to be a dry race as well. So we've got around a 60-40 split basically at the bottom of the field. Ron, Trinity, Will Murdoch, Denzo and Dan Spreen all on a set of medium compound tyres. Marlon, Joey and Dutch Missile all on a set of hard compound tyres as well. And to run you through the strategies, actually, we saw there the pop-up between lap 8 and lap 9. Set us off to a set of mediums that can try and last towards the end of the race. I think drivers will be pitting in from around lap 4, lap 5. I've seen it done here before. Drivers can last around 30 laps. They're so good on their tyres, especially if they go on for a set of hard compound tyres. They can probably last 30 laps. But it is now pretty much in the melting pot of who was going to win this race. I personally think Nuth might win this race. The German looked like he was quite good in there in P3. I think he's going to have a really good chance of the race win here, the German. In second position, I'm going to go Cameron Dowd. I think he's got better race pace than he has qualifying pace around here. And for third, I'm just going to throw a wild rogue one in there. I'm going to go for Denzo for third.
I think it would actually be DB19. Sorry about that. The phone call I was getting, they just didn't respond back.
Scam.
Which is a shame.
Scam call, probably.
No, it's my father. My father is actually calling me. He's away, but from home right now. But I won't mention the reason why. But you know, he was just calling to check to see if we were right. But I couldn't get back to him. So yeah, mix of mediums and hards at the back. I see. I think it'll be DB19 that wins this race. I know I'm a bit biased, saying I want to see a different winner, but you never know. Right, James, take it away.
5 red lights are going out here in PSGL F3 for round 5 of the championship, and it is lights out and away we go. Metty gets a good stop. I think DB19 is better off the start as well as Nuth, and they're going to be 3 wide, possibly down in towards turn number 1, and they are 3 wide in towards turn 1, and Metty, who's been caught sleeping off the start as DB19 and Nuth go down the inside of him towards turn 1, and Metty, who's actually lost 3 positions. There's a spinner, I think, in the background. I thought there was, anyways. Denzo, I think, is getting moved on as a Ferrari very sideways. That was Dan Spreen in the background, but both Hasses now going side by side, coming through turn number 2, through turn 3. DB19 leads, really in second, Nuth in third. Metty, who's had an absolute shocker of a start in fourth. Izzer in fifth, Cameron Dad in second. They remain positions as they come through the end of the first sector. Very, very good start and an astute start as well from both Hasses. DB19 leads the way the Greek. Rudy there in second, the Dutchman, and the German of Nuth there in third. Metty, it didn't look like he got a great start, and especially down in towards turn number 1, it looked like he got completely outdone by the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's just caught blindsided. He's lost 3 positions already. He's out of the podium places. This is the worst possible start from our current championship leader. And this gives Joey some hope. And, of course, all the others that are within reach of the lead as well. For note, of course, Menno can't be it. Nerf, Ronzus, Cameron Dowds, and the like, all within championship leading distance. As we are about to begin lap 2, it is the 2 Hasses that lead the way ahead of the Williams of Nuth, and DB19 sets the fastest lap. Of course, he had the best getaway possible. And look at this, it's a Kush on the inside looking at Matthew, trying to snatch another position from him, but he was too far in the end. And I think that's Marlon and Denzel having a bit of a collision. What's going on with Marlon?
Bit of lag going on, I think, for Marlon's end. Yeah, Denzo on the outside of him. Oh, this desync. That is complete another desync right there. Unfortunate for Denzo. He's been said spinning, coming through turn number 2. And Joey on the back of Marlon, and Marlon is just completely disconnecting all over the place. His internet needs fixing ASAP as possible. I was coming on to the position changes, by the way. Will Murdoch has gained 4 positions off the start. Fantastic start from the Brit. Of course, formerly in the GT Sport, the EMEA series, of course, that happens over there in GT Sport. Will Murdoch on the back of Ron. He's up 4 positions. Very good start from him. There's a rolling roadblock, by the way, with Joey and Trinity to complete and utter desync, I think, from Marlon's perspective. Surely he might be forced to leave the session, which is unfortunate. But DB19 leads the way. Rudy there in second. Nuke there in third. Good starts by everyone up and down the field. Dan Spreen, by the way, I think came in from P18 from into the pit lane. I think he had damage on the first lap, so Dan Spreen into the pit lane, fresh set of medium compound tyres. DB19 leading the way, Rudy in second, Nuth there in third. Punk, by the way, saying as well, 8 up as possible, Michael Scott reference. Not sure who Michael Scott is, but there we are.
Google him, it's your friend.
Is it? Commentate through then.
Oh yeah, yeah, so the 2 has still lead. I was going to say about Denzo, he had a brilliant start until that collision with Marlon. He was also up at 4 places, I believe, so he's going to have to pick up all those positions again, and he's about 2.5 seconds behind his teammate, the Dutch Missile, and Trinity right behind Joey, and Joey is looking to try and get up the championship order tonight, not just the running order here as well. but he's not getting anywhere. He's still stuck in 14th, where he started. And, you know, but remember, he is on the hard tyres, so he doesn't have to pit until much, much later. I've seen people pit on the, like, second to last lap when they're on hard, so I don't think that's going to be the case tonight, though. Which you never know, of course. All the pack is bunched up, with the exception of Denzo and Dan Spreen. But now, I do believe Rudy's going to get the DRS, but I don't think he'll be close enough to try and move. But maybe Nuff could try and make one, but Rudy will also have the DRS. Making a bit of a gain, but not enough of a gain to try and get up close. But there is another DRS zone after this, so he'd always try his luck there, but no,
oh,
it
Joey!
doesn't seem like it's going to be changing order. Oh, Joey makes a move!
Well, that was late on the brakes. Marlon, though, Joey's completely butchered that corner up coming through turn 1, and he's lost 2 positions. He would have got the job done. He's just sent the car himself out wide and got on the brakes way too late into the corner, and Joey just got forced out wide basically by his own volition and his own speed, and that is why Joey's now down in 15th position. So he has lost a position now. Trinity now right on the back of Marlon. What can Trinity do? Pretty much in front of a rolling desyncing roadblock in Marlon. He's there in 13th. His intellect doesn't look that bad now. Trinity can probably go for the move, I would say, down in towards turn number 1. 13th and 14th that battle's going on for. DV19 leading the way. Rudy there in 2nd. Newt there in 3rd. Wonder what the tyre life on meds versus hard is, say, punks. I think on a set of mediums, you're going to be wearing away at around 4% a lap. Hard compound tyres normally 3%, as Denzo has spun coming out of turn 11. So Denzo has spun and is round. Not sure if he's got front wing damage. He hasn't. I think that she's gone for a spin on the outside curb. But yeah, mediums for me, normally 4% a lap. So you think about that and do the maths. 10% going into the race, probably around about the 35-40% mark.
Here he goes, Trinity going on the inside. Yeah, I think that would be a good calculation there, as Trinity passes Marlon for 13th place, and Denzo's just called it a night. He's in the pit
Joey!
lane.
Joey down the inside of Marlon as well. Down the inside and towards turn number 2. Gets the job done. Marlon apparently has got a slight bit of front wing damage. Can't see anything on that shot. You've got better eyesight than me, I think, looking at that. Marlon on the back of Joey. He is there on that sort of hard compound tyres, and is it left side end plate damage? I think he might have. I think he might be watching a ming there. As Wakados has spun coming through turn number 8 and has lost the car, and that's going to be a safety car where he's located out on track. Didn't see what happened there with Markados. I could only assume he's got caught on the curb and sent the car around and spinning. Yeah. Unfortunate for him. Markados out the race in the first safety car of the night, and we are barely a fifth of the way through the action. DV19 leading the way, Rudy in 2nd, Nuth in 3rd. Everyone now under a safety car, which means we can catch our breath a bit.
Oh, thank goodness, because I easily forget what to say. DV19's coming in, and I don't blame him. Everyone in the soft tyre might be coming in. Let me just check the tyres. Yep, all the soft runners coming in. Ron's coming in.
Will Murdoch staying out, interestingly. And that's not bad, because Joey's obviously on that sort of hard compound of tyres, so he can dictate, basically, to Will Murdoch what he can actually do on those tyres, because Will's going to be ahead of him, Joey's going to be in 2nd, they're going to hold 1-2, Joey can hold up, basically, DV19, Dutch Missile is also ahead, so they can go a little bit later on into the race. Will Murdoch, though, he can now dictate, basically, the pace that everyone else goes at, because I know he's quite quick out in front. That is not a bad strategy call, I think, from Will, staying out on a set of mediums, probably lasting around 20-21 laps, and then going in maybe for a set of soft compound tyre, or we'll just last that stint a bit longer. Will Murdoch, though, out in front, Joey there in 2nd, Dutch Missile in 3rd, and Enzo saying as well you can run mediums till the end from lap 5 onwards. Clearly, Enzo knows better than us, better than the drivers, because Izza, Rudy, Maras, Marlon, all in a set of mediums, everyone else on a set of hards, and there's always, of course, that risk towards the end of the race of puncture territory, and I think that's why drivers are being conservative.
Yeah, so I don't blame them if they're on the hards, but it's a bit of a risk if you're taking the mediums. You're pretty much hoping for a safety car at this point. I think Will Murdoch's going to be hoping for the safety car the most. Also out there, Joey and the Dutch Missile. Yes, both Alpines 1-2 now, and the Dutch Missile also choosing to stay out. They were near the back. I have to say, Rudy also pitted alongside DV19, his teammate, which actually cost him a lot of time and positions because he had to double stack. So he's now in 8th, 3 positions down from where he was pretty much last time relative to DV19. So it's no longer net second, it's net fifth for Rudy now. I think we're going to be doing another lap on the safety car because we are waiting for Dan Spreen to catch up. The last of the pitters, of course, has been well behind since the start, so he will get an opportunity to catch up and possibly get back positions. He has not lost any positions. He's actually gained 2 because he started at the back, funnily enough.
Yeah, he did. Will Murdoch started in 16th position, gained 4 positions off the start, and now has gained 15 positions. Joey's gained 12, but Dutch Missile has gained 12. Dan Spreen also has gained 2 right from the back of the field. He, of course, will be joining the back of the safety car queue at the end of this lap, which means we should be good to go for racing once again. There are the position changes, by the way. No need to go on the penalties either at this moment in time. Nobody has picked up a penalty just yet, which honestly, around this track, I'm actually quite surprised because normally track limits are quite aggressive around here, and therefore drivers might be picking up penalties. So far, everyone's kept it clean.
Yes, everyone's kept it clean. Well, the problem with this game, it doesn't show how many warnings each driver got. I think they should change that for the next game. Have, like, an exclamation point next to their name. And if they have 2 exclamation points, they've got 2 warnings, and that would be changed to a black and white flag for a penalty. But unfortunately, they don't have that in this game. I wish they did, but I think it would be too much information for Codemasters. Sorry, Codies. Oh, no, it's EA now, isn't it? It's EA. I keep forgetting EA took over. Gosh, that gives me a crave for playing FIFA. But I think we're going to be getting underway now, if the message does come up.
Which it will, coming out of turn 11, eventually. Underneath this bridge it'll come up, you watch. Underneath the bridge. Oh, perfect timing. That is what you call perfect timing for the safety car to come back in. And Will Murdoch is now the virtual safety. Yeah, he's the virtual Burt Marland now. He's the virtual safety car. He can dictate whatever the pace is, as long as he stays, and as long as his teammate doesn't crash into him. As long as he stays within around 50 mile an hour average, I think he'll be fine. I'll obviously get everyone else going in behind. But the Alpines can probably now pretty much double stack the field almost into thinking they're going to go towards the end of the race. And Will Murdoch actually out of the final 2 corners is going to go now. So out of the final corner, Will Murdoch will lead the way. And look at the time he's already gained on Joey. 0.5 of a second. That's exactly the start he would have wanted. Joey there in second. I think Izza's going to be quite close on the run down and towards turn 1 on Matthew. He's on a set of mediums. He should dive this down the inside line. The Indonesian absolutely sends it on the brakes. That's a lovely move from Izza. Down the inside line. In towards turn 1. Never in doubt that move. Always looked like it was going to be pulled off, and he has pulled it off. Izza through his into 6th. Set of mediums clearly working compared to the set of hards. And now, what can Izza do? As I think he's going to possibly get the run on nothing towards turn number 4, but I don't think he's going to be close enough up the hill. And Izza has managed to get one move done, as I say, through on a Matthew, and he's up to 6th. And that might have been the cleanest move I think I've seen of the season so far, because that was absolutely lovely.
Yes, and it wasn't helped with Matthew giving him a tug into turn number 1 as well. He lost a lot of time from that. So is it getting up into 6th? He's got the tyre advantage, but he's got to remember he might have to go to these at the end. So there's got to be a bit of conservatism in there too, as he's still chasing down Nuff, who is in between himself, Izzat, and DV19, who is trying to make his way up the order as well with those fresh hards. Joey and Missile, of course, are the ones on the used hards. And the gap, well, it's definitely showing the medium tyres, isn't it? The gap between Will and Joey is now 1.6 seconds. I think what Joey's trying to do is keep them all.
Down the inside line of North, tries to get the move done again. Rudy has sent the one down on the inside of Matthew as well. And Izza, I think, is going to come out on top of this, down in towards turn number 2. We will get the move done. Is Rudy going to send it around the outside as well? Izza has got that move done and actually runs out wide, and Nuth gets back underneath him. So Nuth back through, and he's into 5th. Rudy, by the way, muscles his way on the outside of turn 3. Nice move that by Rudy. He's through and he's into 7th. Izza's dropped in behind. I'm not sure if there was a better contact there, possibly, and Izza just relinquished the position, but what that does is give Nuth now a possible chance to get on DV19, because he's looking quite quick, but Izza's now caught in a big train. This is going to hamper his efforts to try and get towards the end of the race on that set of mediums, and probably a 2-stop, more than likely. Will Murdoch, though, as you were saying, 2.3 seconds. He's gaining around a second a lap on Joey, and that just comes to show 8-lap all mediums. Joey is pretty much running absolutely nothing in terms of his EOS, so no wonder he's pulling away so easily. Joey basically now being wingman to Will, and to be honest, they're actually pulling away.
Yes, they are pulling away, and Joey could just defend his second position as well to give him even more time, if you remember what Sergio Perez did with Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, look at this massive line of cars, and one of them is Izzat, looking for another move on Noof in the inside of turn number 1 again, and he gets it done, and he is into turn number 2 ahead of Noof, so he's now up to 5th position, and Rudy on the outside of Noof.
And Maras
Nearly gets 6th position, and Maras and Cameron Dowd battling as well.
Don't even risk
Cameron
this.
Dowd's ahead.
I thought they were going to go side by side and towards turn number 4 there, Maras and Cameron Dowd. Cameron holds on to the position. Maras, to be fair, he was on the outside line. He had pretty much the car, got the move done, but then Cameron just sent it back down the inside line of turn number 3 in such a difficult corner to be off camber. Cameron managed to get him off camber, and that's why he slipped back through and he's into 9th position. Rudy is all over the back of Nuff as well, is all over the back of DV19. I think we're going to see maybe some dive bombs happening very soon indeed. Rudy on the back of Nuff. Cortez is round coming through turn number 12. As I turn 11 even, and I'm Rudy on the outside line in towards turn 13. Around the outside of the hairpin at turn 13. Tries to get all the way around the outside. Shuley's got the traction for 14. Shuley's got the move done, and he has. Rudy's through and he's into 6th. Nice move that again. Really good driving we're seeing. DV19, by the way, is on the back of Dutch Missile running down in towards turn 1. What can the Greek do? Now on the back of the Dutchman. And is he going to dive it down the inside line? No. And speaking of diving down the inside line, Cameron Dowd defends off Maras. Maras on the outside line. Marlon just forcing the move on Ron in the back red as well. And Cameron Dowd's now surely going to be out-muscled. But Maras down in towards turn 2 where he is. Maras is through. And he's into 9th position. And look at the train that's formed up behind Joey. Will Murdoch is escaping out in front. Joey there in 2nd. This is reminiscent of a race I commentated in Monaco a couple of years back. Will Murdoch leading the way. Pulling away from Joey. Joey's been the ultimate wingman at this point. And Will Murdoch has probably got a chance of now winning this.
Yes, indeed. The pit lane is probably like 23 seconds lost. So this is helping Joey every lap, every second pretty much. And the train is getting long. I don't know even who to keep up with. This is insane. I've never seen anything like it since esports.
Here's Marlon.
Oh my goodness me. DV19 nearly right into the back of the Dutch missile, and Marlon gets past Ron Zeus. A good move there. Sorry if I missed that. I was focused on DV19. Almost went into the back of the Dutch missile, who is still on 10 lap old hards. Lap number 12 begins with a 4.7 second breathing gap between the two Alpines. This is just fantastic teamwork. Never before seen in a while. Oh my
Constantine
goodness
into turn 1 is a nearly run into the back of Rudy. He's lost a bit of end plate, I think, on the right side, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and the Williams has been sent off on Nutt as well. Nutt has got a major problem on the left-hand side. Rudy's been sent round as well. And in the space of a lap, where I said the driving was quite clean, it's now got pretty silly, to be honest, from these guys in F3.
Oh,
Will not lead the way.
again.
Another spin as well from Nutt. He got caught in the grass. Another wonder. He is off.
Virtual safety car.
VSC, interesting. What has happened to Nutt? Has he taken off his front wing or something? Yes,
yeah,
he has.
He's lost his front wing and it's on the track, so they're going to have to take a few seconds to clear this up. So, not much loss for Will Murdoch. I highly doubt we're going to get a full safety car. That would not be good news, because that means they'd have to bunch up again and the 6-second deficit would be wiped out. And of course, we don't like those kind of things, except in NASCAR, because they're always tight-knit. I was trying to watch that on Sunday, but I couldn't. I don't have Premier Sports, so I'm not meaning to plug. It's just the truth. But Maris is right behind Meshu. I think that's the closest gap for now. It does matter because this is the VSC. When we're concerned about the top set, yeah, it was so close. No one is a second away in like second to 14th. No one is outside DRS. It's insane. We're waiting it for it to end. There is no signal for it to end. What's so funny?
Will Murdoch, I'm just watching him. He's banking on this VSC ending. Look at the time he's gained compared to Joey. Nothing's picked up a 5-second penalty. He's spinning the fact that he might retire the car perhaps as well. But Will Murdoch leading the way,
can't see
6.1 seconds. That gap was not 6.1 seconds when obviously the VSE came out as around 5 seconds. And look at that, it's around 5.5 coming up the one towards turn 4. Cameron Dowds, by the way, has been caught napping, and Moron's down the inside of him and towards turn 4. So Cameron Dowds caught completely napping through turn number 4. Not sure if he fell asleep at the wheel or something there. Moron now through and he's into 8th. Cameron Dowds into 9th, and Cameron on that set of hards obviously doesn't want to fight Moron. He's on that set of medium compound tyres. But Cameron Dowds, 9th position, and he got caught flat-footed completely off Marlon.
Yes, he did, and DV19 trying to chase down Dutch Missile, but he also has to fend off Izzat, who is behind him, and looking for an opportunity as well. Izzat making his way up the order, I have to say, very nicely. We have... The gap is now between the Alpines around 6 seconds again, so it might get longer again as Will Murdoch begins lap 14. We're about 40% through this race, and Izzat is now right behind DV19. Remember, DRS enabled. My goodness me, they're all coming after Joey, and oh dearie me, DV19 going the inside of Dutch Missile whilst trying to chase down Joey. Now going to turn over 2, they're going to go 3 wide into this third turn, a second turn I should say, and Joey somehow stays ahead and is pushing everyone.
Izza's going to get them both. Izza's on the outside line. He's going to get them both up the run towards turn 4.
No way!
Izza through and he's into 3rd, and that is what you talk about taking opportunities. Izza took one there. He took 2, in fact. He got both DV19 and Metsu and all of that. Fantastic move by Izza. He's now on that set of mediums. Who needs a DRS train when you've got Izza? Izza has just pulled off maybe the overtake of the season. He's through and he's into P3, now focusing on Joey, and Joey's hard work of trying to keep Will Murdoch ahead by 7.5 seconds. It's going to come to fruition because Izza's going to be bolting past him down the straight.
Yes, he is, unfortunately. Joey's done a fantastic job. I've got to mention, yeah, DV19, the Dutch Missile went wide, went all over the place. DV19 was a little out of shape as well, and Izzat capitalised on it, and he's wasting no time trying to get past Joey. This should be plain sailing, but Joey ain't having enough of it. He's trying to do what Fernando Alonso did! No. Oh, he's running wide. That might be looked at. They might have to look at, they're bashing each other. Joey's got to be careful
Izza's got him.
with where he puts his tyres, but Izzat is past, and now he's going to go after his teammate. It's just like the real world!
Izza through and he's into 2nd, managed to muscle past Joey. Joey, to be fair though, ran Izza completely off track. That might be seen as an illegal overtake. For me, Joey calls that, and Izza was entitled to get the run on him down and towards turn 2. He would have been on the inside line. He was on the inside line. Izza through and he's into 2nd. What gap now could he gain on the back of Will Murdoch, who is now 8 seconds ahead of him? By the way, Dutch Missile and all of that dropped down into 8th position. Cameron Dowds is right on the back of him, and it's coming like a rolling roadblock again as Patuxai has to back off as well. And look at Trinity down the inside line of Ron, just in behind this as well. Can he go for the move down the inside? The Brit on the Estonian, round the outside and towards turn number 13. Trinity, I think, has won in DRS off Ron, but he's got to get the traction, you know, coming out the final corner, dives it down the inside line. Trinity and Ron really good battle this, and Trinity has to somehow force his way through. It's a lovely move. Cortez has spun out the final corner as well. Ron is side by side. Marassa side by side with Metsu down and towards turn 1 as well. He tries to loop it all the way around the outside, but there's so much action I can't keep up. You probably can't keep up either. Marassa down the inside line, trying to show that Sardinian flair, and he does show the Sardinian flair. He's into 5th even, and is Messi going to have a run back at him up towards turn 4? No, Cameron Dowd on the back of Dutch Missile. Ron down the inside line of Rudy, by the way, towards turn 4. They get intertwined on each other. Goodness me, I don't know where to keep up with this battle. Will Murdoch leads, is a 2nd, Joey in 3rd. Joey has forced a massive train. Everyone else is fighting further down the field. Welcome to the Wacky Races, everyone.
Yeah, at this rate, we're losing our jobs and letting the drivers do the commentary themselves. So, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last time we're ever doing commentary here. We're just letting the drivers do it instead. Maris right behind DV19 now. My word, I'm needing a defibrillator at this point. I'm sorry, but this is just too much for me to handle. Joey is holding them up again, and Cortez is out.
Yeah, and that's going to deploy the
and
safety car, I think. It's off to the right-hand side of the track. It's a VSC. VSC. I think that might get deployed for full safety car, though, because looking at where it is on track, it's off on the right-hand side where the wall is, I think. And normally, that is considered as off-track. So normally they don't deploy anything through there. But Carver's been taken away. Clearly just a VSC. Morass was hoping to try and get the move done on DV19 in towards turn number 1. Didn't get the move done. Cortez, disappointing for him. He's already at the race. Markadol's 17th, Denzo on 18th. Will Murdoch leads the way. And the gap now, Will Murdoch, all of these VSCs, you said it might not help him earlier on. I think it's going to help him an absolute treat now, because Will Murdoch, if this VSC stays out, and he comes into the pit lane, well, no, I'm saying that because the DRS has just been enabled again, Will Murdoch leading the way. What I was going to say there is if the VSC stayed out for a little bit longer, Will Murdoch could have had the chance to come into the pit lane, but clearly the game doesn't want to throw it to... doesn't want another prediction going my way. But Will... out in front, Izza in second. Izza's driven such an astute race. Our predictions, by the way, have gone completely down the drain.
Yeah, I think we should stop placing bets on drivers because this is just horrendous predictions. Will Murdoch is 7.
Oh my god! Rudy down the inside line of Ron! Sorry to cut you off completely! He dummied him completely to the inside there! That was a fantastic move by Rudy! A little bit of contact in that, but Rudy had every intention of dummying him down the inside and towards turn number 12 or 13 I think it was. That's a brilliant move from Rudy. He's through and he's into 12. Ron has no hard feelings, he just waits in behind. Rudy through and he's into 12. That was a dive bomb and a dummy to absolute perfection. I love that move.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I've just seen it. I was going to say, I think it was DV...
But took side off, sorry.
Yeah, he's went off the end of the track, and he's going to lose 4 positions. At least he rejoined safely. I was going to say, DV19, who's right behind Joey, I did predict him as a possible winner, so you never know. That could be his night. DV19 yet to win, so it will be 5 for 5 if he can. He is leading. He is the technical. Well, no, he's not the net leader. It's Izza. I keep forgetting his hat's there in second. But Maris also right behind DV19, of course. So he's got to do 2 jobs at once, and that's not pretty easy because we know how defensive Joey can be. Just like Alonso and Perez in real life. Well, it's probably Alonso because it is at the Hungaroring as we make his way through to start lap number 19. We have completed half race distance. Of course, you need to finish 90% of the race distance, which will be at this rate 32 laps to be eligible for points. And that
Trinity sending around the outside, doesn't get the move done. He's not going to get the running towards turn 2 either, or is he? Unless he sends us completely around the outside, but he's just basically forcing Dutch Missile through. Maybe run towards turn 4. Patia's going to run quite thin, I think, for Trinity. But he waits in behind. He hasn't got the run up towards turn number 4. That's the wait in behind on Dutch Missile. But Dutch Missile, again, coming a bit of a rolling roadblock at this stage. Patuxai, by the way, he's into the pit lane. I think he had a front wing change as well. So Patuxai into the pit lane. You see something? Was that Morass?
No, it was Joey. Nearly lost it at the chicane. And now DV19 is on the offensive. And he's trying to get everything out of that car to go on an aggressive move for Joey, but I think he's lost a bit of that magic there. And he goes wide! DV19 goes wide and Morass capitalises and tries to go around the outside, but I think he's gone too wide and he'll have to concede the position again. No, he hasn't! He's got more speed and he goes in to 4th place. And now DV19 is under threat from Metchu and Maris, is too far behind Joey to catch him. What is Marlon going to do? What's Metchu going to do? Goes down the inside. Marlon off Metchu. 4-6 position. Both drivers have DRS heading down into turn number 2. Going on to turn number 2 now. And Marlon goes wide. Metchu takes position back.
Just got caught on the curb on the outside, did Marlon. Rudy, by the way, is fighting with Dutch Missile further down the field. And both of them in the same team, normally in IFR. Rudy, 10th position, gets the move done on Dutch Missiles. A nice move there from him. It's all beginning to get Constantine up once again behind Joey. Look at the gap, though, between Will Murdoch and Izza. Izza has not closed that gap at all. 6.5 seconds. It stayed completely stagnant, like Ocon in 2021. Are we going to have an Alpine winner here in PSGL F3? Because remember, Will Murdoch is still yet to pit in. He's going to be coming out, I think, around... Well, he's going to be behind Dan Spreen, but a majority of drivers are still going to pit behind him, especially those on the set of mediums. Will Murdoch is doing a fantastic job. He has got himself possibly into pole position for winning this race, as Maras is right on the back of Joey, coming into the final 2 corners now through 13, through 14. Joey's just setting duck down the straight, I think, here from the Italian in behind the OP man on the run on towards turn number 1. Shooty is going to dive it to the inside line, and he does. He dummies him. Joey was aware of that, and Maras dives it down the inside line. Nice move that by Maras. He's through, and he's into P3. Moved further down the train as well. Rudy, Trinity, swapping positions and running Dutch Missile as well as Matthew tries to run on the back of DE19. Not quite close enough. Goodness me. Did say this was the wacky racer. It still is. Will Murdoch leading the way. Izza in second. There's a yellow flag, and that is Dan Spreen off through turn number 3. Or turn 2 even.
Yeah, Dan Spreen off at turn number 2.
Molon hit the back of Matthew as well.
That's Betisai, who's spun at the last corner. My goodness, look at all these cars! It's like they're coupled with invisible wiring, just like a train. It is insane! Oh my word! DV19 will be the next to challenge Joey after Maras just got past him. I should mention, the gap between the two Alpines is now 12.5 seconds, and if a safety car comes out, it's the perfect time it does. Because they will not lose a lot of time at all. I've got my gap on the leader, in fact, just for that purpose, and now I don't know what the gap is between all the others. That's the problem with this game. You have to you have to switch it yourself, and it blocks the right of the screen. But here we go again. Look, they all move to the inside of that pit wall. Joey doing this
he stole him.
Dummies him. He absolutely dummies him and gets past him. Joey spun.
Yeah,
Joey is spun.
I think Joey just came across there slightly. Messi was down the inside line, and Joey, I think, from the outside line, probably came in, got sent round through turn number 1. Unfortunate for Joey, at least, though, for this pack, they don't have to worry about him now because he's completely out the way. So it's a good thing at least, but it's so unfortunate to see, obviously, a driver being spun by Matthew. Probably no intention in that at all by Matthew. Just got a little bit messy down in towards turn number 1, and that's why we saw the contact. And it's unfortunate because this race has been absolutely brilliant once again. Just unfortunate little errors just creeping in for some of the drivers, and some of the drivers just losing a bit of concentration. But still, 14 laps to go, 13 if you're being picky after this one. Will Murdoch leading the way? He's still not coming into the pit lane. Izza there in second, 5.7 seconds. Gap is now beginning to come down more significantly between the front two. Maras there in third. Everyone else now, because they're out on the Joey train, they're now latching on board possibly the Cameron Dowds train, because Cameron in sixth, Rudy there in seventh. Cameron, I don't think, is in DRS range of Matthew on the running towards turn number 1. Is Rudy, though, going to be close enough to try and launch this in towards turn number 1? I think he might. Is he going to be close? Oh, he launches it. He thinks about it. Nearly sending it down the inside line. And in the end, I think Rudy was debating himself whether to go for that move. He seemed a bit 50-50 with it. And I think the right decision probably had just to stay behind.
Yes, indeed. So, pretty much, that spin from Joey has pretty much been a sigh of relief for DV19 and all the drivers down the order. But the gap at the top still remains 5.3 seconds. But the question is, when is Will Murdoch going to pit? Can't stay on those tyres forever. He has to change compounds. That is in the rulebook. And if he doesn't follow by the rules, he will be given a disqualification. The black flag for not doing so. But he knows the rules. Of course he's going to pit eventually. But of course he's not going to do that right now. Izzat is 6 laps younger tyres, and I'm not sure if those can make it to the end. It will be pretty much puncture territory, I'd have to say. I can't say the same for the hard tyres. They should be fine getting to the end of the race. They last around 35 laps, which is full race distance. So, all plain sailing for them. But of course, they've got to watch out for any drivers on faster compounds and newer compounds too. And Marlon's come into the pits. is this?
Front wing change.
It's yeah, it's front wing change. That makes the reason, and he's going to change to a new set of mediums, which in the game just goes through the other tyre. There is no collision physics in the pit stops.
Yeah, Will Murdoch leading the way. 4.6 seconds. Will's tyres are now beginning to go off the cliff. He's having to fight the car again. And I think now is probably the time maybe to think about coming into the pit lane, because Will Murdoch will come out, I think, ahead of Ron coming out the pit lane in around 8th position. He's got a train to then go into to try and get overtakes done. Now, if Will Murdoch can get his tyres to the end of the race, I think he's got a good chance of at least picking up a top 3 finish here. But if he doesn't, and he doesn't decide to pit in until later in the race, that chance is probably going to go. He's going to remain out for another lap at least, so clearly feeling he's still got those tyres. And I'm looking at those rears, to be honest, Logan, and I'm thinking to myself, they're blistering beginning to occur on the run down towards someone. You can't see it in the shade, but certainly on the rear left tyre, blistering beginning to occur. But they still, overall, look quite fresh, to be honest. And I can't believe I'm saying that on 24 lap all mediums.
Yeah, it's crazy, but, you know, you can't really tell because, of course, this is a video game, so not everything's going to be perfect. And, of course, the tyre quality, they look good as new to me. Just a 1 or 2 blisters there, that could be, of course, a sign that they are starting to wear it. But my word, the gap is still 4.1. How he's kept this is just top-notch. It's just top-notch from Will Murdoch. And remember, he still has to pit, so that's going to be the crucial thing. He's hoping for a safety car. If a safety car comes in, it's jackpot. Everyone's going to reset, and he'll have the lead. And I think he's really good on these soft tyres compared to all the others. So it might be in. You might have one hand on this trophy, but you never know. There is still 11 laps. Well, it'll be 10 laps after this one to keep a hold of that first place. But remember, oh, he's coming in! He's coming in! He is coming in, just about to say he's going to come in with 10 laps to go. I think he's going to go on the softs. And This is a big risk to take for Will Murdoch. And all the other drivers are going to be keeping a keen eye on this driver. Well, of course, they'll have to. Yep, red wall tyres on. That's the softs. He is going on the offensive.
I'm conscious of the fact that I think he might come out behind Joey actually here, down towards turn number 1.
Oh, no.
He is going to be coming out alongside Joey, and Joey is going to be ahead of him. So Joey ahead, but Will Murdoch can now pretty much say to Joey, look, get out of the way, will you? And that's exactly what he's probably just said to him. Down towards turn number 2, Joey gets out of the way of Will Murdoch. Now on a fresh set of softs, he is going to be probably 3 seconds quicker a lap compared to the likes of DB19 and Matthew, who are on a set of hard compound tyres. Will Murdoch in 9th, behind Ron. I said he might come out ahead of him, so he's actually behind him. And it works better, I think, to Will Murdoch's favour, because he's running into more clear air ahead of him. Ron is obviously going to be struggling to catch the back of Trinity. Will Murdoch, surely, I think he's going to have a run down in towards turn 11 here, because look at the speed he's carrying through the corners. Now compared to Ron, he'll take this flat out coming through turn number 11, just backs up the throttle slightly, but look at how much he gains. Is he going to think about moving towards turn 12? No. Waiting behind. He'll wait at least another lap to go, but I think he recognises Izza, Maras, and Rudy especially probably can't get to the end of the race on those tyres. Will Murdoch has now done the strategy. It's a right call, I think. It's just whether or not he can now get through the field as he's pushing his way around the final corner on the back of Ron. Metzi, by the way, dives it down the inside line of DV19, and Will just saunters past Ron as if he's not even there. On the run up towards turn number 1, he gets the job done. He's through and he's into 8. So there's 1 ticked off. Next on his hit list is Trinity, and Trinity only 1.9 seconds up the road. That gap will be eradicated by the time they come through turn 11.
I bet you that will happen as well, but even Izzat's keeping a keen eye on Will Murdoch. The gap, 14.5 seconds to lead from Will, so keep your eyes peeled, everyone. This is going to be going to the final lap of this whole race, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, as now the gap between Trinity and Will Murdoch is actually just 1 second, so I don't think it's going to happen at turn 14, but it could happen at turn 1, maybe turn 2. Coming through the... Actually, I should check what the lap times he's doing. He's probably setting the fastest lap at this point. Of course, this is his first full lap. trying to switch to, yeah, 3 seconds. Oh my goodness, he's right on us now. And he might just go for it before the DRS zone. He has all the speed in the world out of the final corner.
Oh, easy.
Trinity ain't gonna budge. Easy fastest lap for Will Murdoch. That'll be bonus point if he finishes in top 10. I'm sure he will, bar some divine intervention, which he definitely does not want. And now he's 2.7 seconds away from Rudy in 6th place, who is on very used mediums. All the drivers are on 21 lap old X tyres, which is X being the compound, medium or hard. And these drivers are going to be super worried. They shouldn't be meddling too much because that will give Will Murdoch the edge, and he'll just be right behind him, just like a click of the fingers. The gap at the top is still 6.5 seconds by the looks of it, so not much to worry yet for Izzat. Problem for Will, when are the tyres going to start to fall off the cliff? And without all the help in front of him, well, I would say help, but it is helping him get past because of the slipstream and etc. But he's going to have clean air. At the same time, he's not going to get any DRS pushes, so it's not going to be easy for Will Murdoch. It's not concrete yet, so watch out. Everything's going to unfold in these final 7 laps as Will Murdoch sets another fastest lap.
1.2 seconds off the back of Rudy, but this is going to be his most troublesome part of the race in these final 7 laps of the race. Joey Bellaway's also came into the pit lane. Will Murdoch now, Rudy is just outside of a second compared to Cameron Dowd. Will now, I think, is beginning to lose the tyres. Already he's beginning to lose the tyres, and it was 3 seconds at the start of his stint, and I mean we're only 3-4 laps into his stint now, and Will Murdoch is probably not gaining as much time as we would have hoped. If he came out in more clear air, he would have still been catching around 2 seconds a lap even at this pass. But Will Murdoch now, he's latching onto a big train. That's led by Matthew pretty much. Maras is even just in front of that, so actually they're hopping on board a train with Maras in front. Will Murdoch has got to get 5 drivers, basically, to stand himself a chance of getting maybe a P2 finish here. At least he's got to get 4 drivers for P3 finish. I don't see, to be honest, if he's going to get the move done. I think he will do on Rudy, but then it's Cameron Dowd, the likes of DB19, the likes of Matthew. He will struggle to get past. Will Murdoch, for me, he's getting his tyres very nicely now online, but will he try and get the moves done further into the race? Will Murdoch, though, get the move done on Rudy. Rudy doesn't even fight that dead end towards turn number 1. Hard fight, to be honest, by Rudy, but Will Murdoch through and he's into 6th. Now, on the back of Cameron Dowd, 1.2 seconds up the road. 20 lap fresher compound tyres. But by the time Will Murdoch gets to the end of the race, his tyres are pretty much going to be the same as the hard runners.
Yes, they are, and that's the problem with the soft tyres around a track like the Hungaroring. They degrade faster than some of the other tyres do, and Will's going to have to keep an eye on his tyres now because he's getting into the range of Cameron Dowd, but he's got to watch where he puts those tyres. The curbs are not going to help. That's going to even hurt the tyres further. The gap now, half a tenth and some. He's also got DB19 to deal with as well, and he's got 5 laps after this time round to get pretty much all these guys, and then he's got to go for Izzat. I think he might have to settle for 2nd place here, to be honest. Because it's nearly 7 seconds up ahead of Maris in this train. But now here comes the opportunity for Cameron Dowd. Cameron, what is he going to try and do to defend? I don't see him doing much. He's just sitting right next to him. They've both got DRS. And into the inside goes Will Murdoch and gets the move done. Next will be DB19, but I think he's just too far ahead for now. Matthew is in 2nd now. Overtook Maris at, I believe, the 1st corner.
Yep.
So that's, and he's on hards as well. Are the mediums starting to run out as Joey RC off camera gets a move done on the Dutch missile? So, order change here. Now it could change again with DV19 right behind Mars, but also Will Murdoch behind DV19 himself. So it could be 3 wide.
Do you know how I said he might not get through this pack at all? I think now I'm beginning to eat my own words because he's flying through this pack. He got Cameron Dowds in towards turn 1. It was a nice move. Now he's on the back of DV19, and probably he's going to get the move done in towards turn 1 on him. And perhaps I think he could get the move done on Morass down in towards turn 1. If he's got the speed, he's certainly got the ERS to use it. He's got, what, 10, 12% more than Morass at the minute, and 15% more than DV19. Or the other way around, as I said that. And now it's going to be 3 wide and towards turn 1, because look at this, DV19 closing on Morass. Morass, luckily, though, has DRS, and DV19 sends it down the inside line, and that's exactly what Will Murdoch needed. Down the inside line, he gets through, and he's into P3, and unfortunately for DV19, a little bit too much on the brakes there from the Greek. He is now down in P7. Could have been a Haas 1-2. It's not going to be a Haas 1-2. DB19, Rudy just ahead of him now in 6th, as I was mentioning that. And DB19 in 7th. He dived it down the inside line. And for me, there was never intention of getting that move done.
Yeah, I'm very unfortunate for DB19. He's now behind his teammate in 7th position. 3 attempts to gap between Will Murdoch has probably won the lottery at this point. Right behind Matthew now after capitalising on the collision between DB19 and Maris. It was like there was a divine intervention for him. Because we said earlier we didn't want to see a divine intervention for Will Murdoch, but it's actually come in a good way. But now he's got to deal with Matthew, and 3 laps to go now as Izzet crosses the line. Will Murdoch has a chance to go up into 2nd place after starting from 16.
Oh, this is easy.
It's just going to be plain sailing against Matthew, perhaps.
Oh, Matthew.
Goes the inside.
Matthew's fighting this, you know. He's trying to go down. He should get it. Yeah, he has.
He's just behind him. He's just behind him. And now Will has to go like the clappers to just run away from Matthew and get as close to Izzet. I have to mention, there's only been 2 penalties, 2 drivers with penalties. That's quite insane, actually, considering this is the Hungary. I thought there were going to be penalties abound. But I don't think Izzet has to worry about that anymore. 7-second gap, I think he's good, unless something massive happens, but it's not out of the question yet.
Rudy has spun, he's got a puncture! I thought he had a puncture, no, he's just spun the car. I thought he had a puncture, but he hasn't. He spun the car through turn number 5. I think he might have got caught on the outside curb and just went into a half spin. DB19, though, freed, I should say, and he's through and he's into 6th. Izzet leading the way, 6.6 seconds to Will Murdoch. Unless Will's tyres came online and they gained 2 seconds a lap, Izzet has got this race now under complete control, and it looks like we're going to get maybe a top 3 of Izzet, Will Murdoch and Meti. Onto the penultimate lap of the race we go. Izzet leading the way, the Indonesian. Move, though, going to be happening, I think, further down the field. There's now Cameron Dowds. We're going to launch this on Morass, down in towards turn number 1, and the Scotsman carries too much speed into the corner. Does he get the car stopped? He does, somehow, and Cameron Dowds still he's into 4th. Nice move, that. Little bit of wheel banging. Morass might not be happy with that. I'm certainly happy with that, because Cameron Dowds... just a little bit of contact, nothing major, and that's a nice move. Cameron Dowds through, and he's into P4, and Morass now struggling with his tyres, and perhaps he could be picking up a puncture, because I'm looking at his left rear, and that's certainly looking like it's going to go.
Izzet, about this time last year, lost the race in Japan in F4, I think it was F4,
yep.
Correct if I'm wrong, and lost the race because he got a puncture in the final lap, and I do believe lost a chance at the championship as well. He does not want that to happen again. He looks alright for now, but we did say 28 lap old tyres, they're gonna be on borderline at this point, but Will Murdoch holding his ground nicely, still 8 tenths ahead of Matthew. I don't think Matthew will be making a move on Will Murdoch yet, but it is that starts the final lap of the race here at the Hungaroring. My goodness me, I've tried to keep up with this race so much, but it's just not been working because they've been going everywhere. Izzat's best finish so far this season has been 4th at the Monaco Grand Prix, and he looks like he's going to add 16 more points to his tally and become the 5th different winner this season. Incredible to think that. And there's only 10 races to go after this. My goodness.
there is only 10 races to go, but it's still going to be a long, long season for the drivers, of course, with, of course, the point system as it is here in PSGL. As long as it doesn't hit the curbs, he's going to be fine, I think, in terms of his tyres. As I said earlier on, I've seen 32 laps last around here, and Izza is looking consummate out in front. Even if he picks up a puncture, I think he's still going to win now. As he comes in towards the final couple of corners, Izza just needs to avoid the curb through 13, just touches it slightly. Now to the right-hander of turn 14, Izza, the Indonesian, is going to be the 5th different winner of the season, as Logan has already mentioned, runs out the final corner, and Izza to the line, wins in Hungary. With Will Murdoch around the final corner to finish in second. Yeah, it is a crash in his car across the line. Metty there in third, Cameron Dowds in fourth, and another lap. I think Cameron Dowds might have got him. Maras there in fifth, DB19 in sixth, Rudy there in seventh, Trinity in eighth, Ron in ninth. There's a good battle for 10th going on as well. Marlon is trying to get Dan Spreen out on track. It's going to be a drag race to the line, and do you know what? The Red Bull might just get him here. Dan Spreen. It gets him in terms of the penalties, though, regardless. Marlon in 10th, Dan Spreen in 11th, Joey in the end. What could have it been for Joey if another VSC or safety car came out? He finished in 12th in the end. Dutch Missile across the line to finish in 13th. He's well ahead of Newton Batuksai, who are now having their own private battle to take the fastest lap off Will Murdoch. And currently, it has already gone to Nuth 16 flat, Batuksai 16-1. I'm going to try and commentate on both their laps here. Nuth coming out the final couple of corners. He's very, very sideways. He's going to be under pressure possibly from Batuksai coming through the final corner. And now on the run to the line, Nuth is not going to improve in his lap time, but Toksai isn't either, so Nuth does get that point. However, it's not awarded because he finished outside of the top 10, but what a win for Izza, out on track. PSGL F3 certainly delivered once again here tonight. We are back, and drive of the day, I think, certainly does go to Will Murdoch after a fantastic drive there to finish second.
An honourable mention to Joey, despite his finishing position, you know, he helped. He pretty much did half the work for Will Murdoch. He kept a defensive line against the cars behind him. It was just fantastic teamwork from the Alpines. He defended like a lion, Ocon would say. But yes, it wasn't the win, but I think they'll definitely take a second place, Will Murdoch.
Yeah, definitely so. And Will Murdoch, of course, with Alpine being 4 points behind Red Bull, and given how Red Bull did tonight as well, I think Alpine now overtake them in terms of the constructors' standings as well. Because Will Murdoch finished second, both Red Bulls 9th and 10th. So Will Murdoch now, just him alone, I think has now taken the lead and wrestled the lead off the constructors' standings for Alpine going into, of course, it is Austria, I believe, next week. But Israel on top from Will Murdoch in second, Metty there in third. Hopefully we might be able to get an interview with all three of them. Cameron Dowds there missing out by 5/10 of a second on the podium in fourth. As I say, another lap I think it could have been different because he looked quite quick on the final two laps there. Maras there in fifth, DB19 in sixth, Rudy there in seventh, Trinity in eighth, Ron in ninth, Marlon ran off the top 10, Dan Spreen 11th, Joey in 12th, Dutch Missile 13th, Nuth there in 14th, picking up that fastest lap, Batuksai in 15th, 3 DNFs, Cortez, Marcadors and Denzel all out of the race. Of course, Cortez crashing, deploying a VSC, Marcadors crashing, deploying a safety car, and Denzel retiring into the pit lane come the end of that race. Izza wins though, Will Murdoch second, Metty in third. Shall we try and get the top three in?
Yeah, let's do it. My goodness. What a race.
What a race indeed. Absolutely brilliant to be back, of course, here in PSGL F3. More commentaries to come as we go along. And unfortunately, Logan, as you mentioned to me earlier on, I mentioned to everyone else at the beginning of the stream, you're not going to be here next week, so you're going to be very, very sadly missed, I think, in the commentary box here in F3 for the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, unfortunately, I actually have work commitments, so, you know, but personal life comes first. I've got to take heed in that, and but I will be back for round 8 in Belgium. I'm sure no one's going to miss me, considering how horrible my commentary was tonight.
Now, go to commentary box, as I already said. Go to commentary box. From one go to commentary box, by the way, to another. F1 has also started, PSGL F1, and I can feed you through as qualifying is actually ending now. Isma out on top, Hamilton in second, Max Vissel in third, Matthew Alder currently in fourth, And that end of the qualifying session is approaching very rapidly indeed. Many drivers, I think, are probably going to try and improve on their laps, and I'll try and update you with the top 3 as we get through the end of qualifying, of course, into the start of the race. And it looked like, actually, because they're just finishing off qualifying now, it looked like they got going a little bit early.
I think they have. I'd just like to mention, do we have any interviews?
Yes, I was relying on you to try and invite people in.
Oh gosh! I was just so distracted with what you were saying.
That's the northern tones, I think, coming in there. People always get distracted with my northern voice, honestly. Isma's still out on top, by the way. Hamilton second, Max Vissel in third. Matthew Alders already came across the line, hasn't improved. Zander has retired. And it looks like that top 3 is now on. However, Sealer was looking very quick on this lap, coming around the final corner. And he's on the run to the line, and he goes 12th in the end. So Facilo won 12th. And that is the end of qualifying, I think. Yeah, Isma out on top. So, F1, you can go and tune in for that if needs be. I'm not going to provide a live rolling commentary, so don't worry about that whatsoever. But, of course, Austria next week, Logan. You're not going to be here, of course, but what can the drivers look forward to, of course?
Lots of fun. 3 consecutive DRS zones, a very picturesque circuit. I'm sure they're going to love the views there, but they're going to be focused on the racing for sure. Of course, the fastest track on the calendar, about 1 minute and 3 in qualifying. It's blazing times. It's insane. It's like running a roller coaster. But I've said the same about Zandvoort. But I way prefer Austria. It is a much more action-packed circuit, and anything can happen there. So I would be saying I'm looking forward, but I'm sure you'll be looking forward to it.
Definitely looking forward to it, and obviously Austria. Hopefully, it is going to be an absolutely fantastic race. And hopefully we are going to be seeing that race, of course, next week, live and exclusive once again on the PSGL channel. And hopefully it is going to be a good race. As I say, I don't know who's going to be joining me in the commentary box next week. Have a feeling, though, it could be one Spaniard that could be joining me. I know he's on the reserve list, Mr. Paco Suarez. If you're listening, you could be coming into the commentary box with me next week. But hopefully we are able to get the top 3 in. I haven't seen anybody join the party, unless they're just not wanting to join tonight, which I could probably totally understand.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get them in. It's taken a while, though, because I keep forgetting. Why am I doing this?
We can let the drivers have a night off, to be honest, if you want. I don't mind.
No, we're not doing that. Will Murdoch. I forgot the number, that's the problem.
93, I think it is.
Thank you.
I think it is. I'm just logging into the lobby, so I'll tell you if he's still here. Yeah, 93. Capital W, capital M. So while we wait on the interviews to come in, of course, Logan, I am going to come across to you. Oh God, I nearly dropped my water bottle there.
The driver of the day is Will Murdoch.
Driver of the day, Will Murdoch? Yeah, totally agree. I think Will Murdoch certainly getting driver of the day from my perspective as well. I think Izra's already left the session, so hopefully we'll be getting them guys in. I've just seen actually on my PSN app that they have now. Or they will be joining very soon indeed, so hopefully we'll get interviews, if possible, from at least 2 of them, maybe even 3 of them here tonight. And hopefully it is going to be a fantastic night worth of action once again next week in Austria, and then the week after, of course, in Jeddah, which proved to be a very close finish, of course, in the PSGL Esports Cup event. If you did manage to tune in for that, of course, probably looking forward to a lot of action there out on track once again. But the Red Bull Ring certainly going to be coming in. We can now speak, though, to our drivers that are coming in. I'm not sure why I'm not getting the notifications through on my end. We can speak to Izza, who, of course, took the race win out on track. And Izza, fantastic drive from your perspective. Talk us through it, because in the end, it proved to be an absolute dominant victory.
Well, I think I got quite lucky with the safety car, honestly, because when I pitted, I went for the mediums and a lot of people went for the hards. I think they didn't know that the mediums could make it to the end, so I just kind of used the pace from the mediums to help me to help me get through the field and stuff. And I had to overtake some really difficult drivers. That's what I would say. But after that, I think it was just smooth sailing to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, plain sailing to the end. Were you all worried about the man behind you? Of course, the man who finished in second, Mr. Will Murdoch. He went on that set of soft compounded tyres, obviously got through the train quite quick, but then had no tyres left. So were you thinking he was going to catch you at any point in that second stint?
I was worried at first when he went into the pits, but then I saw he came up behind a lot of traffic, and yeah, it's not easy to overtake here, so I wasn't really worried after that.
Yeah, which is obviously very good indeed, and you've obviously become the 5th different race winner of the season in PSGL F3. Must obviously go into your mind as probably one of the most memorable races of the season, of course, after your best position finish in, was it Monaco P4?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously fantastic result from your perspective as well. Logan, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
I honestly don't know. Of course, you must have been. What were your tyres like? We asked. What were your tyres like at the end of the race? I asked.
I think they only just hit 60% on the last lap, so I wasn't really worried
so
about
I think you
tyre
were
wear.
okay. Yeah, I noticed you were slowing down a bit, but that's totally understandable considering the circumstances. Of course, last thing we want is, actually I shouldn't remind you of the time you got a puncture a couple seasons ago, which cost you the race in I think it was Suzuka.
Yeah, don't bring that up, please.
I won't.
Heartbreaking.
It was. Don't happen today. You got the win, so well done.
Thank you.
And final question before you go is, Austria next week, how do you think you're going to get on?
Fuck Austria.
I think that's all that needs to be said, I think, on that one. Of course, apologies about the bad language that I had there as well, but go and enjoy your evening, Izza.
Thank you. See you guys next week, hopefully.
You won't be seeing Logan next week, you'll be seeing me next week, hopefully, so go and enjoy your evening.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And now we can speak to the man who finished in P2, of course, Mr. Will Murdoch. And Will, I said you'll be qualifying outside of the top 10. You did. You qualified in 16th. How come you've ended up second?
Firstly, I'd just like to say a thank you to Mr. Joey Cottenden and Mr. Dutch Missile for just doing an Alonso type job. It was a bit like Hungary, like last year. You know, they just sort of they didn't do anything illegal. They just let me get away, I guess. And we kept getting safety cars, and my pace was good enough on the medium. So I was like, no, I'll stay out, and I'll have a major tyre advantage at the end on the softs, and it just seemed to work out. It was very hard to make them not overheat. But I managed to do it all right, and just smashed through the field. Nearly got caught up in the carnage with DV19 and the other guy. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I just picked through the field one by one. Just had a simple race, and it probably doesn't sound simple, but it did feel quite simple on my end. But yeah.
Didn't look simple on our end, I can tell you that for sure, and it was certainly giving the viewers certainly some excitement, of course, in that race. But finishing in second position, obviously you came into this race, very good points all on the board, and I think you were, 10th coming into this, or 9th coming into this? So picking up another podium, or first podium of the season, actually. No, second podium of the season, beyond, of course, Monaco. Must fill you with good stead for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't really have the time compared to other people to put in hours upon hours of practice. I've got other commitments that take priority over that, but to just turn up with minimal amounts of practice and just be fighting at the front and maybe even throw a title charge. I don't know, but it's nice to be back at the front in F1 league racing and just having loads of fun, and to win a second PSGL championship would it would just mean so much to me because of the massive like time difference between my first one and the second one. I think it'll do me wonders, to be fair.
Yeah, you're certainly looking in good shape, I think, to obviously mount a challenge as we go through the season as well. And speaking of mounting a challenge, we go to Austria, of course, next week. How do you think you're going to get on?
Honestly, I don't think it'll be one of my strongest tracks. I believe the pad is decent there. So, I don't know. I'll just see what happens. It might just be a race of trying to stay out of trouble and try and pick up minimal points. But I mean, little points is better than no points. And the way you win championships is by being consistent. So if I can just stay in the points week in, week out, then it'll do the job.
Yeah, definitely so, and hopefully, as I say, this podium will bring you about to going on for the rest of the season, hopefully mounting that title challenge. But go and enjoy evening, Will.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Will. You might have not won the race, but I think you're going to be leaving here as the biggest winner tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
One question, though. You didn't give me a chance to answer a question.
Awesome.
So, you I think you used to do, or you may still do, you do Gran Turismo Sport Racing?
Yeah, that's correct.
Of course, Gran Turismo 7 is coming out next week, which is brilliant. Or actually, this week. This week, it is Monday.
Yeah, this week.
Brilliant. I can't wait to get it. Can I ask, what skills and traits do you believe are transferable from Gran Turismo to Formula 1?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, it is very different. The way so on F1, you're literally just driving one car religiously, whereas Gran Turismo, you drive in completely. You'll drive cars that are more heavy, like in GT3s, and then you'll have some that are like very pointy, and then you can go super fast, super slow. So I feel like you can really learn a lot, but the way you have to drive is very different. I feel like on F1 you've got to be really on edge a lot of the time, whereas Gran Turismo you can get away with just maybe sitting back a little bit, saving tyres, saving fuel, and get good results in that sort of way.
Yes. Well, once again, well done, and go enjoy your night. You absolutely deserve a celebration.
Thank you very much. I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. We'll see you again next week. And that rounds us off in terms of the interviews. Of course, Matthew not joining. So that rounds us off in terms of the top two interviews. Matthew, of course, finishing P3. Great result from his perspective as well. That ends us off tonight for PSGL F3. Really hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course. If you're brand new to the Premier Sim Gaming League's channel, and I'm going to get up the schedule once again to give you all of the action that is going to be coming up this week, of course. Hungary over and done with. PSGL F1, by the way, is live. I think they're on lap 5 at the minute. Isma just got overtaken by Hamilton for the race lead, so that battle is going on at this moment in time. I am in the complete and utter wrong Discord server to start with, but of course Hungary and Austria to come next week, and more action to come, of course. Wednesday, next action to come. PCF1, no assist. It is going to be streamed. Ginger Andy and Daniel Field taking to the action for that one. Thursday, of course, I need to get this right. F13, F14 and F15, 7pm and 8pm UK time. All the PCTs, the rest of the PCTs are on Thursday. Sunday, F10, F11, F10, F11 and F12 live on Sunday. And then we're back, of course, on Monday for all of the top 9 tiers worth of action on the PS tier. And we really hope you're going to enjoy that. And before I end off the stream, should probably watch this back later on. Miss Jess Games, of course, has tested positive for COVID recently, so we're wishing her well in her recovery. And from all of us, of course, in the commentary booth and everyone here in PSGL, we want to wish you well, and hopefully it's a very quick recovery, and hopefully the symptoms are not too bad, because I know she was saying earlier on another Discord server, she's feeling better than Saturday, although her symptoms feel a bit worse. So, yeah. But that's a shame. But hopefully she's doing well, and as I say, and hopefully she'll be back in the commentary box. If she wasn't in F2, hopefully she will be back again next week, and hopefully fully recovered of COVID by then as well. We're rambling on. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Good night.